So, how did you get started in the entertainment business? Because you were into radio and TV, so it was like, so who were your inspirations growing up and seeing?
Well, I always thought that I was going to be a news anchor. That was my initial goal when I was in high school. And when I went to SMU in Dallas, Texas, Southern Methodist University, I took some radio classes on radio, and I thought, oh, this is kind of cool because it's not your expressions on your face; it's all your inflection and your voice. So I got my first job in broadcasting right before I graduated college, and it was for to be a traffic reporter in a fixed wing airplane, making $5 an hour, and that's the job I took upon graduation from college, and made very little money, and started my radio career that way.
Did you watch any other channels like the Weather Channel just to do that?
No, I basically just they had to check to see if I was airworthy, and I could talk and kivets pretty well on by the seat of my pants, so to speak, and communicate. I would do personalization with different DJs, and after about 6 months, I left that job and went to fly in a helicopter for one radio station, and that's really where I became more of a personality and was part of the morning show and also part of the afternoon show. And from then on, I started doing midday radio in Dallas, and then started doing morning shows. So I had a pretty active radio career. I did radio for 15 years, and during that time, after I had moved from a radio show in Pittsburgh down to Orlando, Florida, I started doing some acting and other voiceover work, and then came the call from Nickelodeon Studios for me to audition as an announcer for this new game show called Nick Arcade.
But what was your first impression of this studio when you got there, Nickelodeon?
Because this was for an announcer, a voiceover, we were in a studio, like a small little studio. So I went in, I'm by myself with headphones, and they handed me a copy that they wanted me to read with a music bed, and there was less music, say 10 seconds of music, and what had to be read was maybe 20 seconds of dialogue. And they kept having me speed up what I was saying to match the underlying bed. So basically, by the time I finished the audition, I was rambling off the words that were on the paper in 10 seconds, and it was still understandable. And I think that's probably one of the reasons I got the job, because I was able to speed up my conversation to match a certain music underlying bed, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, I think it's a really talented skill to have, though. I think a lot of maybe TV announcers they have to have that. You think so?
I- You, you have to be able to speak clearly, but you also don't want to sound stilted. You don't want to sound like, "Hi, this is me, and this is how I talk." A lot of people uh, uh, get kind of wooden sounding when they're communicating, when they're like on TV or radio for the first time. I think my background with being on live radio helped me to be a better announcer for
Hmm.
Nickelodeon in particular, because Nick Arcade had, of course, Mikey the Video Adventure going different places on the board, and so whenever the child, the contestant, would pick a square, they would move Mikey up, down, left, or right, and depending on what he landed on, if he landed on a prize square that was underneath the board, Phil Moore would go, "Andrea, tell them what they want." And I'm like, "You'll be going to Universal Studios," or whatever it was, right then and there. So I
Mm.
had to have my copy ready and be able to announce live, because we were live to tape. There were no re-edits.
Hmm.
So at the first season, if I stumbled when it ended up on TV too.
Hmm. Wow. Yeah, I just found that out from the book from Slime from Matthew Clixton that it was live to tape. So, like, what was a typical day like being there? Because I know the first season taped in 1991, and a lot of people are confused by that because it says on Wikipedia all the areas that originally entered 92. So what was a typical day like being there?
Yeah, well, Nickelodeon Studios, to kind of go backwards a little bit, and this is prior, because I had been there previously for other auditions, for other things, and when you walk into the Nickelodeon area, it was just a really cool environment because it was a group of very talented um, 20-somethings or 30-somethings or even late teens in around the 1990 area or time frame. So we would go in there, and it would be a young crew of people with jeans and T-shirts, and it was whatever went. And there were loud, big, bright colors all over, splashed all over the walls, and so it was just a very dynamic facility when you walked into the sound stage or walked into the buildings. And so that was of itself really cool. Now, I was at Nickelodeon before I got Nick Arcade when they had started doing Clarissa.
Mm-hmm.
And would audition for different things there. So I was familiar with Nickelodeon, but with any audition, if you're an actress going to audition, or whether you're an actress or a voiceover person, or whatever, you go on an audition, you have no idea if you're going to get booked on something. You just go in and read or do a scene on camera, and then your agent lets you know how you do. But actually working on the show was pretty intense. It was the first time that I had ever done a show, and so you have your little dressing room and with your name on it, and you're in you have the whole studio environment, and when you walk through the soundstage doors, you've got bleachers and seats for the studio audience. You've got your warm-up person. You've got all the cameras. You've got the host area, and you have where the contestants are going to be with the light-up boards and everything that they stand behind. And then you have the bonus round area in one huge part of the soundstage. So the part we're in is pretty cramped and small, and then you needed a lot of space for the bonus rounds where you were battling the wizards on the green screen. So it was a lot of cables. The first season I stood on cables and had a podium that was not out in front of the audience. I was kind of in the background. I was never on camera, and nor did I need to be. And because, what announcers do you really see on camera that often? None. Or not a whole lot. And it was energizing, exciting. We shot 4 episodes each day. Most people think you're at work and, shooting these shows out throughout the year. You were doing it, and you're done in 20 days.
I've always wanted to know that because after shooting 4 episodes a day or whatnot, did your voice ever get tired? Did you ever get tired of saying the same thing over and over? Did that ever become a bother at all?
No, I get to the point where, I have things all these years later. I can still say, Magna mountain bikes, more power to climb and accelerate. Magna, the hot new name on the streets. I remember the copy that I had all those years ago. But with radio, I'd be on the air for 4 hours, so, you're not talking the entire time. You do have to kind of breast yourself, and it's pretty intense because anyone who's shooting an episodic TV show knows. You go in and you do the show, you go home, get rest, you go right back to work. It's like anyone who's got a daily job they have to go to, and that's what it's like shooting a show. But we did probably 5 days in a row and 2 days off, and then, maybe it was even 15, 18 days while they were all done. Mm-hmm. And Nickelodeon at that point was, some shows were AFTRA, some shows were non-union, and with Florida being a work state. I think that's one reason that they opened up in Florida, because I think anything shot out of New York was mainly union. Uh, you negotiated your salary or your monies were usually based per episode, and so you got paid for that 2.5 week run, and then that was it.
What was a good thing about living in there and on the TV production? Why do you think it has since decreased?
It was the Hollywood East.
Hmm.
I tell you, I started in 88, 89, I think, is when I started studying acting. And I went to, way back then, James Best Film Acting Studios. And James Best was Roscoe P. Coltrane on the Dukes of Hazzard. Roscoe P. Coltrane. I don't know if you ever saw any of those shows, but he was an actor, and he opened a film acting studio. And I took some film courses because, like anything else, it needs to be on your resume that you have some, acting background. And started auditioning for TV commercials. And at that point, we were like the Hollywood of the, they call Orlando Hollywood of the East. And I worked in a restaurant at night. I left radio full time and worked in a restaurant at night and auditioned during the day. And I probably had 5, 6 auditions a week. And I was driving to Tampa a couple of times a week because one of the casting directors was over there. So I was doing Disney commercials. I got booked as a contestant in a Wheel of Fortune commercial that Vanna White and Pat Sajak were in, but it took place at Disney. And I think the first commercial I ever booked was a Publix commercial, which is a grocery store chain that's based out of the Central Florida area. They're in Lakeland, but in the Atlanta area, and they're in some other states as well. But I was a mom on a Publix commercial, and that's when I got my SAG card, and that was February of '89, I believe. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's been 25 years since I've become SAG, and we were all excited, I think, to really be in on something, but the work kind of petered off. Things with a lot of Publix commercials at that time, like by the mid-'90s, late '90s, were going to Canada. Mm-hmm. Because Canada then had the incentives. So I think that's why Florida and Orlando kind of lost out on everything, because they were going to shoot elsewhere where they had better tax incentives, I think was one of the downfalls with it. I think the unions became more organized in Orlando, and I think maybe Nickelodeon, perhaps that was, they would rather not have as many union shows. I'm not sure, but that could be one of the reasons that producers started going elsewhere. The talent was there. We would get very frustrated when we'd audition for a national commercial, and then we found out that they didn't find anybody, and so they were bringing in actors from New York to book the commercial. Everybody was like, "What? Why?" Because we did have in the state of Florida, we had a lot of good actors. So I don't know what the nemesis of the change was, but I think it was a lot of things that changed the Hollywood East to becoming kind of a hard market. Mm-hmm. But we had a lot of TV shows coming through there. Superboy, I did an episode of Superboy, and all these episodes, they came in and shot for a season or two and then weren't renewed. So I think that was also another issue that may have been the downfall of Hollywood East. Mm-hmm. Nickelodeon was a really fun place to work at, and there was a lot of very, very creative people that I worked with just really genuine, cool people, uh, all happy to be doing what we were doing.
Yeah.
And I think there was, it didn't matter if you were the script person or the music or the audio guy or the talent or the warm-up person. Everybody was a team. We all knew that every component made up the end product, and everyone was important. There weren't a lot of egos while at Nickelodeon, and particularly on my show. But you look, if you talk with Karim
Mm-hmm.
and James, they're pretty laid back, easygoing guys.
Yes, they are. While Fillmore, he's the crazy, he's the out there person, he's the insane person, you know.
Well, Fillmore was crazy 25 years ago, and I'm sure he's crazy now. And what's really scary to think of is that Phil had a little boy who was just like 4
Mm-hmm.
when we're shooting it, so he's got to be, you know, he's got to be 30 or something now. That's what's scary.
Yeah, that's right. I
That
do.
there's a grown-up child of Phil Moore out in the world, and he was funnier than anything. He was high energy and just a mess, and I mean that in the most loving way.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think he was the perfect host for it. He just has this. He was really talented. He just really loved doing his job. I could tell that he really loved doing it.
Yeah, he was a nut. We all loved doing our job. I mean, it was so fun. I mean, where do you get to go to work and I get to say words like Pacific Ocean instead of Pacific Ocean? Because how many kids screw that up when they're little kids? And I got to say words like that and talk about lizards, Scotia, and Mongo. And I don't know if you grew up listening to it, if my voice sounds the same
Hmm.
to you as listening to what the show was about, you know, my voice on the show, but, or if I just sound like an old lady now.
No. You're right because I always see that TV announcers their voice are different from their normal speaking voice. So yes, it's really just a weird for me. It's almost like a new atmosphere whenever I hear you talk like that. You definitely don't sound like an old woman at all. You sound really young.
Because, I mean, I even remember the intro to the show. It would be, get ready for the ultimate video challenge as these two teams go head-to-head to face a maze of electronic obstacles for the right to face one of our game wizards in the video zone. And I don't know, I can't even tell you what I had for lunch yesterday, but I can remember that. I have a file of useless information still in my brain from that show, and uh, it's really funny. And what's even funnier is my kids, thanks to YouTube, actually hearing me on an episode, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, I guess it sounds like you, Mom. Yeah, okay, whatever. Can we watch something else?"
Aw.
They just, they have no concept. And I was like, this is my biggest gig at the time. And they're just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's kind of cool.
And going back to the set of Nick Arcade, like, because the Video Zone challenge, did you ever like get to try out the challenges yourself? Because I know that Kareem and the
Yes,
producers they all got to do that once in a while. Did you ever
yes,
get to do that yourself?
and yes. And it was hard. It was very hard. That's why the show was aimed at young kids, because they were still able to move in various ways. And everything appeared backwards because you were mirror facing, if that makes sense, or what you think you were touching with your right hand was really your left hand, I believe. It was hard. It was really, really hard. And if you saw the set, it was just big ladders and concrete, and there was no softness about it. I mean, it was a workout, and the kids were superimposed in this video game. So it was awesome and cool and fun, but it was not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, I'm just not thinking about it. It was really like it was like a predated Wii, I almost feel like, because, you're just doing it by yourself. You're controlling your own emotions. And I just like the Wii system, the video game system Wii. I almost feel like it was like that, but
And
predated.
that's true. That's a good analogy of it. It was just it was a lot of fun. It was as much fun working on the show. I think we were all really disappointed because the second season was better. We knew what we were doing. There was just there was just a familiar vibe about everything, and I think it would have been great. I mean, it's so funny to hear that people talking about this show and has had a resurgence, and Nickelodeon during this time period. Um, I've been interviewed several times for different publications in the last couple of years, specifically about Nick Arcade, and if only that we had been around a lot longer, there would have been a lot more to talk about. But it seems like something that was just so insignificant in the big scheme of things, people are so fascinated with. And I think that's really a testament to how cool Nickelodeon Studios was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, I was just about to ask you that because you were interviewed for Matthew Clickstein for his book, which is a really great book, I must say. I enjoyed reading it. But still, how do you feel knowing that Nick Arcade and all this 90s stuff just made such a great impact on people? And they're still talking about it to this day. They still say, oh gosh, it was one of the best times on kids' TV ever. I missed that shows.
And it was fun. I think it was. It kind of showed the no one had anything that was directed at kids. Everything was directed at you had Laugh-In when I was young and growing up, and that was like what the parents watched. But we had maybe Brady Bunch and Partridge Family. I had that when I was growing up, but we really had nothing. And the Cosby Show, started coming out. But Nickelodeon, that was the first foray for people to have cable TV, and and at least looking back from my perspective, seeing going from network TV to cable, it was a big thing. Of course, now people watch all different kind of channels, but I remember at the time when even Fox came out, we're a network now, and I'm like, that's what are we going to have to watch on Fox TV? And now you look at how big Fox TV is. It's all this stuff has evolved, and so when the cable side of television became more uh, more and more filled with regular programming that people watched. You had MTV that came out first, and then the Nickelodeon, then and so you had sitcoms for kids and game shows for kids, and it involved the family, and that is what even now, as a parent, that's what you want to do. You want stuff that is clean cut fun that involves the family, um, and that's what Nickelodeon introduced this country and the world to. Ways that the kids and parents could have fun doing something.
Yeah, yeah. It was really groundbreaking at the time, especially with this show. I mean, you're learning about video games technology even more. I mean, you guys were doing it even better and earlier than way before now, especially with the G4 network and countless numbers of video games out here now. So it's still a proud accomplishment. I just have two more questions because we're
Okay.
running out of time. But would you like to see the Nick Studios reopen one day? Because there's so many people who miss it and say, I think it's so many good things they could do with it now, and that would be a good thing. But do you think it should come back after all these years?
it might be cost prohibitive. Yes, if it would be nice that there would be another location of and some original programming back in Orlando again. But yeah, I mean that would be something I would love to see, particularly if I were still living there. Um, as to whether we will see it, eh, who knows?
But what do you think made the studio so great and special? The Nick Studios in Florida.
The energy of the people.
Mhm.
It was the vibrancy of people from all over the place. It it didn't matter, you know, what type of education you had, because it was what you brought to the table, and it was pure creativity. It was kind of like channeling whatever your strengths are. I can't sing or carry a tune, but I can sure sell a product.
Mhm.
Or, you know, as an announcer, when I announce, I have a smile on my face because you definitely can hear whether someone is smiling when they're talking to you, whether you see it or not. And if you want to sound angry, then you're going to try to make your voice sound really serious and mean and
Mm.
not have any smile. But if you want to say, you've just won the best push-up pop in the whole wide world, and you can have this sugar in your candy. Not a lot of people, not everyone can sell a product. Just like not everyone can write music, but that's what Nickelodeon brought. People who were really good at what they did, all together as a family, and they produced magic.
Yeah. I think you just summed it up perfectly. There was something about the camaraderie. It was the right place and right time. That's what I feel like.
It was yeah. People supported each other, and there weren't egos. You know, there's always nastiness everywhere, but I think that it was a communal group of people who had fun doing what they loved to do, and
Mm.
that's the magic of Nickelodeon. And
Absolutely.
because we people really enjoyed what they did, and because of that, a really great product was released, and the audiences, it was just what people at that point wanted to see that. Now, would a Nick Arcade fly today? Well, it better have a lot more bells and whistles on it. You know, that's kind of like watching. This summer, I've been watching the original Star Wars with Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher, and as they were released, and showing my kids. And the ones with Natalie Portman are so much better with the technical um, capabilities that since the original ones in the '70s were released. And it's like anything else. The technical and the things have gotten bigger and better. Um, so has the E. So obviously Nick Arcade wouldn't make sense. You'd have to do Nick Arcade on steroids because they would have to not only be superimposed, but you could make the wizards, you know, just like Transformers. They could change into other things now.
Mhm.
But at the time, it was perfect for what was technically available to us.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. It was ahead of its time, but still everlasting memory. Like so many people talk about it still, and I think that's just makes everything worthwhile. I feel like.
Yeah, you don't feel old until you talk to somebody. You know, you grew up watching the show, and then I'm like, oh my gosh.
So, hooray for me, I guess.
That's right.
But before I let you go, can you do one last thing before I let you go, though?
Sure.
All right. At the end, the promotional fee, like you said, used to at the end of every episode, used to say Nick Arcade was taped before a live studio audience in Nickelodeon Studios at Universal Studios, Orlando, Florida. Do you mind saying that one more time?
Uh, if I could remember it all. Nick Arcade is taped before a live studio audience at Nickelodeon Studios at Universal Studios, Orlando, Florida.
There you go. You just said it perfectly. Oh
It's been a
God.
lot of years.
Yeah. All right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because I always loved that. That's what made it so appealing. Like once you heard that, everyone had to go to the studio to see that all of the
And
production.
do you know that I taped that once, and that same same recording was played at the end. I only taped that once,
Wow.
and it was put on at the end of every show.
Wow.
But yeah, it's been a lot of years since I've said that.
Wow. Yeah, I can imagine because I did the same thing with Harvey from Double Day. He said the same thing too. It's been quite a number of years too. So, but still, I love
Uh,
that line though.
yeah, Nick Arcade is taped for live studio audience at Nickelodeon Studios. Yeah, crazy, crazy.
Yes. But Andrea, it was so good talking to you. I really have to thank you once again for talking to me today. It was
Oh
really.
my gosh, it's been so much fun to talk about this, and I wish you great success
Oh, thank you
with
so
your
much.
project. And if you know how to reach me, if you ever have any follow up, feel free to call me
Oh, perfectly. I will definitely do that. Thank you
or
so much.
email me.
All right, cool. I'll do
Either
either
way.
one. Either way is perfect. All right. I hope you have a great weekend too.
Thank
And
you, and keep me posted.
oh,
As to what you end up doing with this.
I definitely will. I keep posting with everybody. You might find me annoying, but I don't care. No, I'm just
Oh
kidding.
no! And Matthew Clickstein will send an email. Hey, we're doing this. We're having this, and I just couldn't get to New York and do the party. But he seems to be the one that venues all other interviews and stuff. So because I guess you guys contact him and say, hey, you wrote this book. How do I reach these people? All right. Well, be good and keep us posted.
All right. Take care. Have
And
a
good
nice.
luck, Bilal.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye
You
bye.
too. Bye bye.